Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Freya. So today's video is all going to be about astrology and a very basic beginner's guide to astrology. So I will be going through how to obtain your birth chart and how to read your birth chart, basically just the planets and you know, the planets and whichever signs they're in and what that means for you. So just a small little introductory video just to get some of you started on your little astrology journey. Hoping to continue this as like maybe an astro chat series, so I'll go on further and talk about aspects and houses and all that good stuff, and moon phases. That's a big one I want to do. But just for now, I'm going to be showing you how to get your birth chart and how to really understand all of that information as well. So basically, for those of you who don't know, a birth chart is where all the planets were aligned at the time of your birth. So I'm going to be showing you my birth chart. The way that we look at astrology is where the planets were in the zodiac zones. So we've got Earth here and we've got the zodiac zones around Earth, and where the planets and the sun and moon were at the time of our birth. So for example, Scorpio could be here, and I don't know, Pisces could be here, and we could have like our sun in Scorpio, something in Jupiter and Pisces, for example. It's just a matter of where the planets are transited and where they are stationed at the time of your birth, which signs they are stationed in. So I feel like there is a lot of confusion with astrology, because when you first get started, it is so confusing. There's this whole world of just like mumbo jumbo, and you're just like, I don't know what the fuck's happening here, like someone please explain. So basically, the most of my astrology knowledge that I have, I've gained by reading astrology literature. So I have a few books from secondhand shops that contain a lot of really in-depth astrological information written in the 70s, written by lecturers. I have a few new age books as well that contain stuff about astrology, and there's a few really good websites and blogs that I'm going to link you to that have a lot of really useful information about astrology as well. Before I go on and explain everything, I'm going to show you how we do a birth chart. So I'm going to actually film myself doing this. So basically, you will go onto the Cafe Astrology page and you'll get to this little thing that says birth chart. So you go into birth chart interpretations, free astrology reports, create a report. So then I will just type in my details here. We'll go Frey, and I was born on the 27th of November 1998. I was born as well at 11:44 p.m. So basically, the time, if you don't know the time that you were born, you will still be okay. You will be able to get a lot of your planets in there, but your moon and your rising sign are the most likely ones that are going to be off. The moon changes its position in the zodiac every 2 to 3 days, and the rising sign would change every couple of hours. So yeah, then you'd get to here and you'd get this little chart of planets, and this shows which zodiac sign all of the planets were in at the time of your birth. So for example, for me, my sun was in Sagittarius, my moon was in Pisces, my Mercury is in Sagittarius, Venus was in Sagittarius, and all of that. Then we get down here and we've got the houses, and we've also got your ascendant. Your ascendant is pretty important, and I'm going to talk about that in this video rather than the houses video. You've got more down here as well, and you've also got like a little chart. So before we get started on all that, I'm going to explain to you what each planet means, and basically give you like a little example as well. So yeah, sun sign is the sign of the ego. It's the sign of your identity and your core and dominant traits that follow with you throughout your life. And although you may feel more connected to your rising or your moon sign, and that's completely natural, most people will actually do. So it's like the sun is the center of our galaxy. Our sun sign is like kind of like the core of our identity and of our ego and personality. So yeah, my sun sign is in Sagittarius, which means I love adventure, I love philosophical thinking and conversation, I love exploring new realms, both internal and external. I can be pretty flighty at times, stuff like that. The sun rules over the sign Leo as well, so if you have your sun sign in Leo, your Leo attributes will probably be a little bit more evident in your personality. Alright, so then we have the moon. The moon is the ruler of Cancer, and the moon represents basically your inner world, your inner mood. So it's basically your deepest emotions and the way that you process feelings and the way that you underneath your exterior truly are and truly feel yourself to be. It's the way it represents your sensitivities and your emotions and your inner mood. So if you've got like a watery moon like me, my moon's in Pisces, you're more likely to be more emotional, more intuitive and empathetic. So basically the Ascendant is the zodiac sign that was ascending on the eastern horizon at the time of your birth. So your Ascendant basically represents the mask you wear in public, a lot of people say. It's the way you come across when you first meet people, your general impression and your spontaneous reactions. So the way that you react to things, the way kind of you'd like to be seen as well. I think a lot of people like their rising sign a lot more and they'd like to be seen more like that. It also shows us our defense mechanisms and how we cope with our day-to-day life and struggles. So the rising is technically a house, not a planet. I'll get more into that in another video, but just for now we're going to stick with the basics of the planets. Then you've got your Mercury sign. So Mercury is the planet that rules Gemini and Virgo. So basically Mercury represents both masculine and feminine energy. It rules communication, Cartesian knowledge. It rules our capability to learn and express knowledge and the way that we want to learn and take in and the way that we want to give out knowledge and energy. Then we have your Venus sign. I have notes, by the way, that's why I keep looking. So your Venus is the planet that rules both Libra and Taurus. Venus is basically the planet of love, as you can guess by the name. Love, possession, emotions, values, exchange of values, sharing. That's basically everything that Venus represents. So our Venus placements and whichever zodiac zone Venus was in at the time of your birth, your Venus placements, they are able to show us how we express affection, feel appreciated, and give to others. So then we come to Mars, good old Mars. Mars is the planet that rules Aries and Scorpio, and Mars basically represents our need for action, our drive, our pure drive, our aggression, our energy, our physical energy, and our sex drives. Then we come down to Jupiter. Jupiter is one of my favorite planets to talk about. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, which is my sun sign, and I also have a stellium in Sagittarius, as you can see from my chart. So I love Sagittarian energy. Back in ancient times as well, Jupiter was actually the ruler of Pisces, which is really interesting because Pisces and Sagittarius are meant to be two quite different signs. Jupiter rules good fortune, expansion, and grace, which means he also learns higher learning of a spiritual, metaphysical, or philosophical kind. So basically, whichever sign your Jupiter was in at the time of your birth, that represents where you are most lucky, where you're most fortunate, and where you feel most kind of at home, if that makes sense. It's hard to describe, but for example, my Jupiter is in Pisces, so I have the best luck and the best fortune if I am embodying my Pisces attributes, which is also my moon sign. So therefore I feel more at peace and more myself when I am embodying Pisces energy, when I am being intuitive, empathetic, when I am caring for others, when I am being sensitive and emotional. That is when I experience good fortune, luck, expansion, opening my mind, and yeah, basically that. So then we've got Saturn. Saturn is the planet that rules Capricorn, I believe. It represents effort and decline. It's the planet of karma and karmic bonds and karmic connections that have carried on into this life that we have to heal. Very interesting Saturn. A lot of people diss Saturn, but yeah, it does look a bit boring from the surface, but when you go deeper into it, it's quite interesting. It represents the lessons that we learn throughout our life and the intense karmic lessons that we learn throughout our life. So if we look at our Saturn sign, it basically shows us the faults that we have in our personality, things that need healing, because they are limiting aspects of our personality. So then we come to Uranus. Uranus is, or Uranus if you're Australian, but I like to say Uranus, I don't know why. Uranus is the sign of transformation. It's the ruler of Aquarius. Uranus energy is basically associated with technology, innovation, freedom thinking, rebellion, progressive transformation in all aspects of life. So your Uranus sign represents your personal liberty, your transformation, and your freedom. Uranus is a really interesting planet because it actually takes 84 years to come to a full circle around the sun. So basically it takes about 7 years in each sign. So when Uranus changes through a sign, it's very significant, and we can all feel the cosmic effects of that. Kind of like how moon phases happen, Uranus, all the planets go through different zodiac phases as well. So basically a lot of us would have been born in the age of Aquarius, which is a very beautiful, potent time. We can all see it at the moment, is that we are all transforming our belief systems. You can see in our generation, we're all driven towards freedom, and we're driven towards liberty, and we're driven towards opening our minds in a way, and expansion, and equality in all forms. Yeah, that's really interesting. That's Uranus for you. Then we come to Neptune. So Neptune is the rules Pisces, and it represents transcendental liberty and non-egotistical liberty. And by that I mean rules all things Pisces. So Pisces is a very illusionary and very daydreamy and empathetic sign. Basically your Neptune sign influences your relationship with drugs, whether you have a good or bad relationship with drugs, whether you become addicted to drugs, your extrasensory perception. So by that we mean intuition, and we mean kind of being able to, like a mind's eye kind of thing. It represents fantasy and also illusion. And then we come to the last of the planets, which is our Pluto sign. Pluto rules Scorpio and is related to life challenges and fundamental transformation. Pluto's energy is extremely subtle, but it deals with power and powerless, beyond ego and into self-empowerment. So Pluto is another very karmic planet, kind of like Saturn. It kind of just very subtly draws you towards what you need in a way. It's hard to describe, but yes, basically I will show you something really interesting as well. So basically that's a small little cap on all of the planets. So for example, here are my planets, and when you're on Cafe Astrology, you can do this on a lot of other websites as well. You can scroll, I'll talk about the Ascendant node as well in another video. So basically you can scroll down here, and you keep going down past the aspects and the asteroids, and you come into like all of this information, like so much written up about you. This includes a lot about aspects, houses, and planetary alignment. But yeah, I hope this video has been comprehensive and that you've been able to understand all of this spiritual mumbo jumbo that I've been talking about for so long. I'm so glad that I've finally gotten around to filming this video. Let me know if you're keen for all the other astro videos, and of course let me know any other video requests that you have for me. I would love to hear them. I'm feeling really productive at the moment, so would love to know if you want to see anything from me. Thank you all so much for watching. I love you all so much. I hope you all have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!